All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to The Current. If you guys have never come to The Current or you've never been in The Current, let me explain what we're doing here. It's your boy Gumby on the couch. We got Rashay, we got Bella, and today's special guest, we've got Friday. And of course, you know, we've got Jelly in the bag doing the director, the producer all day. The Current, it is where we dive the aquarium, dive into the ocean so we can see what's good with the different waves, what's choppy, what's murky, what's happening. You know what I'm saying? We got any new sharks in the water? Huh? Are we all doing the minnow and the guppy game? How are we doing it this week? So what's up? This week on The Current, we have IATSE vote. We have more Rust lawsuits. We have Black Swan. And last but not least, Save the Children. These are our 4 topics for the day. So let's get into it. Starting with IATSE vote. The International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees approved its basic agreement on Monday by the narrowest of margins, with a few hundred votes and 2 guilds deciding the outcome. A bare majority of 40,000 odd members of the 13 West Coast locals voted to reject the agreement, with a 50.4 voting no and a 49.6 voting yes.
Sheesh.
Question, now is this the no from the rejection?
So they're saying 50.4% of the people voted to not take the deal.
Got it.
Nice.
But the union's contracts are ratified based on a delegate system, with delegates awarded based on the majority vote within each local. Each local is awarded roughly 1 delegate for every 100 members. By that measure, by that measure, the contract was approved by a vote of 256 to 188.
So that's like
Ooh.
our popularity vote versus the
Electoral college.
Electoral college.
Got you.
That fucking sucks.
That's crazy.
This is the first time in the 32 years that an IATSE contract has been ratified despite being rejected by the majority of the voters. 2 of the 3 largest locals, Local 44, which is prop makers, set directors, and special effects employees, and Local 700, which is the Motion Picture Editors Guild, voted in favor of the agreement by close margins. If either had voted no, it appears the contract would have been rejected, and negotiations would have to start over from scratch, with a real possibility of a nationwide film and TV strike. The ratification leaves a lot of hard feelings toward the union's leadership, mainly toward Matthew Loeb, the IATSE's international president. Loeb is based in New York, and many in Los Angeles say he did not grasp the members' hunger for more wholesale change in production schedules. Some are also pushing for an audit of the vote or a change in the delegate voting procedure, which allowed the basic agreement to be ratified even though most members voted no. The new contract provides a 54-hour weekend rest period, as well as 10 hours off between shifts for all workers on all types of productions. But the contract does nothing to shorten work days. 10-hour turnarounds were already baked into most workers' contracts, and they still allow for 14-hour days on set. Mm-hmm. The new agreement increases meal penalties once productions go past 8 hours without a break, but the penalties for going past 6 hours remain unchanged.
Wow, that sucks.
Oof. So it hurts to hear that the 2 bigwigs and the 2 big leagues, basically the people with the power, are the ones that decided to vote for keeping things the way that they are, when at the end of the day, it seems like, if you can go back up, it seems like these people are the people who work in post mostly. Prop makers, that's pre. Set decorators, that's pre. Special effects employees, I want to say that's pre and post. I mean, it could be on set, but motion pictures editors, that's post. So these aren't the people who are like on the set. These are the people who do stuff before set and after set. You know what I'm saying? From what I'm seeing, in a general sense. So it seems like the people who are talking about, oh, we're okay with these conditions, are the people who only have to,
sitting around.
right? That you only have to do. You get to do your stuff at whatever pace you get to do it, and you have to get it done before set starts. These are the people who are really voting for this. So the people who are getting told that your call time is 6 a.m. and you don't get off set until 1 a.m. the next day, and you have to be back on set for the call time of 6 a.m. energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the people who are complaining. These are the people who are asking for more negotiations. Please take it back to the drawing board and make it better. I just want to make that clear for people out there who don't understand like what's happening and where the divide is. So no disrespect to Local 44, no disrespect to Local 700, and those who feel like this is good enough. But I personally, being a part of the talent part of these things, yes, I've helped PA'd and whatever, assisted on sets, but mostly part of the talent, yes, I don't think it's fair for these people to have to not be penalized for 14-hour days, or when you're doing the 6-hour, not an 8-hour with no lunch and no crafty and no direct, you know what I'm saying, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying, it's like you got to treat your people a little bit better, yo. And I feel like if we're going to do it, now's the time. now's the time before the new year starts. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't be trying to just crank out a quick deal because I feel like the worst case scenario is that you crank this deal out and people still act up because this isn't what we want. You know what I'm saying? The majority voted, y'all want in the electoral sense, not in the majority sense. So again, it's like you're throwing it in our face because of politics. This is what it is. But again, like is the industry, the artist industry, and then the difference between artist and entertainer, but is the artist industry still beneath politics? Are we not looking out for each other as artists before we're looking out for the industry in the political sense? That's my question. You know what I'm saying? And I digress.
I would say what needs to happen is like the people that's hiring like your set or people like your gaffers, your videographers and all of the people just come up with a plan like, yo, let these people know whoever comes in with these people, like, this is my crew, we gonna be here on set max 10 hours, and after that we are leaving, and if we don't get a lunch break, we leaving at 8 hours, so stop fucking with me.
Well, no, there are people who said that they're gonna do that we're at 6 hours.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, if they keep doing that shit, they're gonna have to change it, or it's gonna be like, we out.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
After this whole thing, nobody's gonna be afraid to walk out.
Right. So it's like, all right, y'all, for sure y'all can pass it, but when we walk out, then what?
Right.
So that's just what needs to be happening.
Can't make a movie without a cast.
Or a crew.
Or a crew.
I thought-
You can't do it without a crew.
Without a camera.
You can't make a movie without a cast.
Yes.
You can't make a movie without a crew.
You need a
And
camera,
this
right?
is, we were trying to get changes for crew because they work through
They were
lunch.
longer, yeah.
Right.
They work through lunch. They don't even eat. It's like I've seen it on set, being in the background. It's like one person, hey, can you go get me some snacks? And they'll come in with all the snacks and just give it out because they didn't have lunch.
Yeah.
Some of them even like the directors on one set, like they were like running out of food and they were coming behind us, just the background. And we was trying to, we were like telling them, we were like, no, go eat, go in front. Like they was like, no. And it was like, no, we already know what the fuck is going on. We gonna take care of y'all cause y'all have to move and like we see y'all, we just standing in here. Like, yes, it gets a long day for us too. It's like, no, but we not moving shit, we're not holding shit, we're not trying to get this other angle. We ain't gotta move these tables and chairs just to get the shot. No, we're not doing all this body work. No, go eat. And then some of them, even the director was like, all right, so what we gonna do? And then they have to come in after us and get in the scraps of what's left over.
Right.
So it's like, nah, like
That's
the
what
groove.
I appreciated about set yesterday. I was on a set and they gave us back around 30 minutes of lunch, but they gave the crew 45 minutes of lunch. And they made sure, like, nope, leave everything as it is. Just go and eat, go do things. And they had safety meetings, like, with everybody. I was like, oh, y'all learned.
Right.
Y'all are changing. I like this. And they made sure, like, they were like, everybody shut up. Like, we are safety meeting. Like, no.
Nice.
Also, I do want to make another thing clear, in case you guys either don't know or haven't known. When they say meal penalty, what that means is you have worked through your lunch, and we didn't allow you to get a lunch, so we're going to pay you more money because we didn't allow you to eat, which is a necessity.
Yep.
Because we didn't allow you to eat on this 14-hour workday where you're pushing things that are 300 pounds, and if you F up, someone dies. Because we push through your lunch, so we'll give you just a little extra bread on top.
And it's not that much.
They're saying what we're gonna do is we're gonna double up the price of meal penalties. How about we just make it so like that's
they
not
can
a
just
thing,
eat.
right? Like let them eat
It's a necessity.
instead of like doubling the meal time, which is great. How about you say it is you have to eat. If you do not like, you know what I'm saying, like you have to eat. Boom. We have to feed you guys something. It's literally written in contract. If we do not feed you guys, we cannot shoot past X this time. You know what I'm saying? That's what needs to happen. We're humans. It's a necessity. It's not like there has to be social media time. There has to be time for you to look on your phone and check your email. That's not what we're asking for. We're asking for time to eat, to sustain our bodies, so we can get up and do this again, so we can literally live.
Yeah, and that's why some when they have more budget, it's like the crew have their own line, and then the background, everybody else have their own line, so we can all eat together. And then it's more efficient because we're all lining up in two different lines just to eat.
Right. Definitely.
Well, thank you for the first IATSE vote, letting us know where we're at right now. We appreciate it. It sucks that we're not getting exactly what we're asking. Well, not I guess exactly, but we're not getting what we're asking for in an overall general sense. But we're getting something. So we'll see how it plays out. We'll see how it plays out by the next year, by 2022.
They're stuck with this until 2024.
Oof.
Fuck. Because it's a 3-year contract that got ratified.
That's
Oh yeah, start walking the fuck out.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but y'all want to be a part of the table. This is time for them walkouts. Time for them strikes.
And that's what we need to do as dancers too. It's like, that $100 for how long? No, dog. This is Dancers Alliance. Boom, in your face. Now you see what the bare minimum is for you paying us, because we're using our bodies for you.
Right.
Whole bodies. They're talking about some rehearsal and performance in Palm Springs, which is at least like an hour and a half away, for about $150. What? Rehearsal and performance? Rehearsal is $125 on its own.
Performance is $500
on its own. What do you mean? And I gotta travel?
And if traveling, you gotta pay me travel.
That's oof. That right there should be almost a stack for that performance. What you talking about? $150? Don't
Y'all be trying it.
Anyway.
Anywho. Alright, here we go. Prepare our minds, body, and souls for this next one. Because here we go again. It's been in the shows for past month.
Right. Talk about
month and a half.
A long time.
All right. More Russ lawsuits. And this shit is not making sense anymore. It sound like a setup. Anywho, another lawsuit surrounding the events of Russ have been filed. The script supervisor on the set of Russ, Manny Mitchell, has filed a lawsuit against actor and producer. Oh shit!
Here we go.
Oh Lord. Mamie Mitchell has filed a lawsuit against actor and producer Alec Baldwin and other production figures over the on-set shooting that killed the film's cinematographer. The lawsuit accused Baldwin of choosing to play Rush. Oh shit!
Oh
no! Okay.
Whoa.
Woo!
I was playing when I said that. I really didn't think he did, but run that.
The lawsuit accused Baldwin of choosing to play Russian roulette when he fired a gun without checking it and without having the armorer check it in the presence, and that he should have assumed that the gun in question was loaded unless and until it was demonstrated to him or checked by him that it was not loaded, which is actual. Which is actual protocol, because they're supposed to show them, and then they're supposed to educate and all of that stuff.
But the AD.
So he wasn't literally playing Russian roulette. He wasn't like boom, boom, boom. He was just like the metaphor. He chose to play Russian roulette by handling this gun without being shown that it was clear, that it wasn't
right.
So I just had a conversation with another director, and I asked his take on this, and he was like, "I heard about the whole thing, and to be honest, man, he's like, I hate to say it, but I think it's the AD's fault."
Yeah.
Because he said, "I'm a director, brought up a director in the game for years." He's like, "It's the AD's fault because someone had, although they were hired, it is literally your job to make sure that this doesn't happen when you pass, and then on top of that, it touched your hands." Before it touched his hand, so at that point it's your fault, bro. So he was just like, he's like, that's my take.
It was cold.
Yeah, and you opened your mouth. That's 3-3. Yeah. It's your job. You touched it and you told them. That's a 3-for-3, bro. That's your job.
Like Alec's supposed to fucking trust you. Like he's supposed to be able to trust the crew that he hired for this or that was hired for this. Like, no, everybody has a fucking job, and if you don't understand that in the industry, get out.
So protocol states that the armorer is supposed to show him.
The armorer is supposed to show the first AD. The first AD is supposed to double check themselves, and the first AD is also supposed to show the talent that they handed to that it did not show. Yeah, that it is cold, and then from there, the actor and anybody and any other crew on set has the opportunity to also double check the gun.
Yeah. So people behind the cameras are all right, for sure.
And nobody did it.
Well, I mean, the people behind the cameras were setting up the shot.
No, absolutely. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, nothing was done. Nothing was done that should have been.
It was like, oh, a gun. Here you go. It's cold.
Right. Right.
That's what I'm saying. So, they did not follow.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going. The lawsuit also names the film production company, Russ Movie Productions, LLC, Armor, Hannah, I was about to say Hannah. What? Hannah, Gutierrez.
Mm-hmm.
Reed, assistant director David Halls, and other production members. All Red said the film's production team failed to follow industry procedures, creating an environment where injury and death was more than a possibility. It was a likely result. Damn. 4 of the producers or executive producers credited on Alec Baldwin's Rust also worked together on another film. Ryan Donald Smith, Alan Chaney, Emily Hunter Salvesen? That's a blah. Salvesen and Ryan Winterstern participated on the never released Dennis Quaid, Queen Latifah project called The Tiger Rising.
Interesting.
In November 2019, a crew of about 100 assembled in the small town of Thomasville, Georgia, to shoot the film that turned into an ordeal of broken promises, overdue bills, and some union members still owe benefits nearly 2 years after the camera stopped rolling.
Whoa.
What? Okay, what?
So the production team on Rust is this production team right here from 2 years ago. Yes, and when I say like reading through what happened on this film was a clusterfuck.
Damn.
It was a clusterfuck. I can't remember which one. I think it was Smith. His dad is the CEO of a bank in Thomasville. So when it came to like paying people, they were just like, these aren't even like real checks. These are like copied. Like I could print these checks. They were like printed checks.
Wow.
But because his daddy's bank cashed the checks, there was like, well, this is the only way we're gonna get paid. So a lot of people think it was like I have some stuff, I'll talk about it more in there, like when we keep going, but yeah, there's a whole thing that goes on with like why people get into movies and how they try to manipulate the system for tax cuts, tax benefits, and so when you're filming in Daddy's bank, and Daddy's bank is the thing, and Daddy's the CEO of that bank, you can get away with a lot of stuff financially.
Before we continue, I want to say like this is a good example of like what happens when you don't, I hate to say it, properly vet your crew that you're working with or for, or what happens when things that aren't supposed to be together come together, bro. All the signs show you that like this shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? Again, we didn't know this until I didn't know this until today about these people. You know what I'm saying? Working on the set, but like when you look into this and then look into what happened on the set, it's just like, yo, like there was enough signs in the beginning of this. We should have wrapped this up. We maybe should have, you know what I'm saying, took a step back on it. But you know what I'm saying? Again, I say that to say in a metaphysical sense, we're moving into a time where that energy is talking. And especially in this time where the industry needs to change, it's changing rapidly. It's happening. It's happening right in front of us, yo.
I hate that it gotta do all of this to change, but goddamn.
Yeah, sometimes unfortunately, in order for people to wake up, they gotta be faced with something.
Thanks.
And I mean, sorry, Helena, you were a martyr.
So frustrations over the project emerged even before the filming began. Emails received that the DGA and the IATSE voiced concerns before, during, and after the shoot. SAG-AFTRA issued a do not work order before cameras rolled because it has not yet received required paperwork. And Smith tried to cut casting director Kerry Bardeen's pay before production started. According to Bardeen's agent, Michael Moore, though he backed down when Moore said he would alert the Teamsters, the casting directors union.
Okay, pause. So this was for the
This is for the movie that never came out.
Okay.
Tiger Rising.
Hold up.
Okay, I was like, yo.
Right.
Okay. So
everything did not like continue rolling. Y'all were still rolling.
Crazy.
Damn.
Okay.
So a source says actress Catherine McPhee put in a day's work at the start of the production, but on the second day, acting on the advice of her representatives, she refused to emerge from her trailer until the producers brought her a cashier's check. Though filming wrapped in December 2019, some members of the crew say they are still owed tens of thousands of dollars in unpaid benefits. Wow. Some lost health coverage as a result of uncredited hours.
Oh my God, no.
Wow.
No,
despite its financial issues and cast and crew dropping off the project during productions and post, investors in the Tigers Rising appeared to have benefited from a Georgia State tax credit program to the tune of $2.5 million.
Wow.
The dangers of the unchecked nature of low-budget filmmaking, even when the major unions are involved, is that in an area that has abstract an array of players, some of whom appear to be lured by federal and state tax credits that are offered up regardless of whether the films they make are even distributed.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, like tax credits are tax credits because you've spent the money.
Gotcha.
So it doesn't matter whether you make a profit of it or not. There are dozens of movies that are made all the time that never see the light of day, but the people who put the money in got all the tax credits that they need. And let's say you would have had to pay $250K in taxes, but then you invested into this movie and you get $1 million of tax cuts. Now you don't owe anything.
It's that easy.
It is.
Wow.
Movie making.
Right, I didn't get my bread up. What? That's crazy.
Yet the IATSE and other unions, all which declined to comment, suspect, have continued to engage with these producers on other projects. In February, Kevin Bacon and Eminem's son, Machine Gun Kelly.
Shut up.
Kevin Bacon and Machine Gun Kelly shot One Way. Another project crediting Smith, Chaney, Salveson, and Winterstern have been reported to still have unpaid wages and bills on the project.
Wow.
One Way was the other film Halls, the man who handed Alec Baldwin the loaded gun, worked on, where a fellow crew member had warned Smith and Chaney, among others, that Halls was a liability, in quotations. Even as crews on their movies faced difficult and even dangerous conditions, Smith and Chaney filled their social media with photos of a high-end lifestyle involving travel by private jet to shooting locations for their various projects.
Firefest.
Boy.
Ah, fuck. Yeah.
With Rust in pre-production, Smith showed off his suit at the Four Seasons Rancho in Encantado.
Not Encantado. He was at the Rancho Encantado.
Smith showed off his Encantado. Smith showed off his suite at the Four Seasons Rancho Encantado in Santa Fe, New Mexico. The crew will later lament their poor accommodations after long days on the set.
Yeah, and I went too. I was like, so y'all up here and we just down here? No, why we not at the same fucking hotel? I would be mad too. Why y'all mad?
Having not worked since the shooting, Mitchell is seeking financial compensation because she was shocked, traumatized, and suffered physical and emotional harm because of what she saw, heard, and experienced when she was in the line of fire, which is very
PTSD.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna be real. If that's 100% the case, like I feel like she low key could win that. She could win that. Like
definitely.
She needs to file this shit against the AD. You're filing it against the wrong person.
No. The lawsuit mentions many people. It mentions Alec
I know,
Baldwin.
but she's still filing it against Alec Baldwin.
No, that was...
Yeah, he's on it.
But that's his production, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
so he's liable.
So
He's
No,
liable.
I understand that, but she's saying that it was because of the Russian roulette thing. If you're saying it's because he put money into the production, that's a different thing. But when you're saying that it's strictly because of the Russian roulette, that he decided to play Russian roulette, you're coming with the wrong facts.
So
that's what I'm saying.
No.
But the protocol didn't happen. That's my issue. Why are you blaming Alec for a protocol that didn't happen?
So here's my thing. I agree with the fact that the protocol didn't happen. I agree with the fact that if you're gonna give Alec the blame, before he gets the blame, it should go to AD production, so on and so. But my question is, if that's the lawsuit that's already out, can you like change your wording or whatever down the line to make it be like exact or that's what it is?
So she's doing it for the wrong reason. It's not for the right reason.
I feel like she can still win.
No, I'm not saying she can't.
Yeah,
what I'm
100%,
saying is
100%.
she's being wrong about it.
I hear you.
I feel like it's not wrong because he is over the production and he paid for these people, and knowing their history, he should have looked into them before he hired them.
No, I'm
sure,
but I'm looking at, that's the thing. People keep only looking at him as the producer. He's also the actor. He wasn't there most of the time.
I know, but he hired these people though.
I know that, but he also didn't know that a lot of this shit was happening. That's what I'm saying.
So
like,
then why not
as
do
the
that?
actor, if you're going to go after him as the producer,
Okay, so
not as the actor.
Oh, I
Just-
was talking about the.
But that's what I'm talking about because that's the information we're given. We're given
So,
that because he decided to play Russian roulette instead of saying, oh, because he put his money into these people and these people put us in danger and he didn't do anything about it. If that was the case, then that would have been different. But when it's being said, accuses Baldwin of choosing to play Russian roulette when he fired a gun without checking it, without having the armorer check it in his presence. That is the AD armorer.
Gotcha.
That is all. Protocol
right.
did not happen.
I thought
all
it was
I'm
a
saying,
metaphor.
Yeah, all I'm saying is if you're accusing somebody, you better come with the reason why you're accusing them.
True.
Not something that is opinionated. Because that's
a stupid allegation.
Protocol.
Yeah.
There is protocol. Don't blame him for something that didn't happen according to protocol.
Which is not his
Because
fault. That's
and that's all I'm
So
saying.
basically, it was the Russian roulette was still a metaphor.
Yeah.
But what this person, Mamie Mitchell, is trying to accuse Baldwin is saying, oh, because you didn't double check that protocol happened before the gun went in your hand, it's your fault. But it's not.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah,
because he's the actor in this
he's
sense.
still an actor.
Got you.
So that's
I
what
got
Bella's trying to say.
Yeah,
that
right.
It's not. At no point does it fall on Baldwin's shoulders to double check that because there's a protocol that should have happened before
With the
you got
armor,
it.
with the AD,
Yes.
and with him.
Because
You
he
can
can.
come after him for production. You can come after him for putting the money in and hiring this team and all this stuff. You can come at him for that. But when you're coming after him for something that isn't correct,
Right.
like that's where
different.
it's like it sounds like you are coming for just money and
Right.
not actual
Oh, yeah.
distress
For
and
sure.
See,
all that
people
stuff.
like that, they normally try to like, okay, I was there, so I'm gonna try and do benefits.
Yeah, so she
Because the
need
thing
to.
about it
I
is
think
also,
she should
because
change
also
it.
like since they didn't check the gun and he would have used it in the actual scene, if he actually had to fire the trigger at somebody on the scene, that person would have done
See,
the
that's what
same
I'm saying.
thing.
You
It would have
take-
happened.
You
Yeah.
take his producer position away, it still would have happened.
It still would have
Right.
happened. Yeah, like
Right.
regardless, if
Right.
if the scene he had to fire the gun at somebody, that person would.
Right.
And
Exactly.
the thing is, in the scene, like you're closer, so there's
Right.
no way. Yeah.
So that's
So,
what I'm like,
It's gonna happen.
It was gonna
regardless.
happen regardless because your 80 team didn't do what they fucking was
Exactly. And
supposed
if
to
Alec
do.
Baldwin didn't hire this team, somebody else would have hired that team and it
Right.
would have happened on a different set.
Right.
Honestly,
Exactly.
I don't even think that he hired this team. I really think he's only a producer in
Just
the
for the
sense
money.
that,
For the money.
for the money and to be able to have
that's what I'm
a
saying.
say on the final cut.
Right.
Wow.
A lot of the times
See?
when the lead actor is also a producer, it's not even that they put in money because then they'd be an executive producer,
Right.
but it's because they want to have creative say on what the movie looks like.
Yeah,
For sure. For
got
sure.
it.
that's why I'm like,
So
he's
she was
Yeah.
wrong
Yeah.
on how she put that together because
Mhm.
it's not his fault because in this he's only an actor
yeah, pretty much.
Right.
He just
and
has
that's
name
not
on
his
it.
job.
That's it.
Right.
Because
That's
if you're
not his
accusing
job.
somebody, if you're
Got
accusing
it.
somebody for something, I'm not gonna use slang. I'm gonna say everything in detail. I'm not gonna be like he was playing Russian roulette.
But it has to be accurate too, regardless
Right, right.
of slang.
Exactly.
Regardless
It has to be
of it.
accurate.
Like don't
It has
use
to have facts.
don't be
Yeah.
like Russian roulette. Like Russian roulette is like and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's Russian roulette. Russian roulette isn't like walking around with the gun and all that, playing around with it.
Yeah, even
That's
though
the
it's
thing.
I get
That's
what
a
you're saying,
whole
but
different Steve.
I don't think that's the important part, though.
you know, saying her wording with that when she was saying he's playing with
It
lessons.
was like
Basically,
It's just
he was taking a
deciding-
chance.
Yeah.
For her, she was as a turn
Yeah.
of
All
phrase.
right.
So regardless
Yeah.
of that, the point is
she was
you're
wrong.
you're blaming him for something that isn't in his hands.
So in the court of law, you might lose this case
Yeah,
because law is
because
very
of
strict on what you're
wording.
blaming. You know what I'm saying? So if you lose this case, you can still sue him or whatever it is, but it can't be under this. It has to be under the fact that the team is as at fault.
Right.
Then and you being part of the team makes you at fault as well. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
so Baldwin might get, there was a Baldwin
If you
is
wanna say
out,
that.
but everybody else is in. Like, she might lose against Baldwin.
Right.
But everybody else is named in here.
Yeah.
Now look.
Definitely
I hope-
account to
I
all
hope-
because
Yes.
y'all are a part of the protocol that did not
I
happen.
Right.
really
So,
hope.
yes.
I really hope the person like if there was a scene where you had to shoot somebody, the person who was supposed to take that shot, I really don't know what their mindset is right now because like with
Right.
that happening, it's
And
like
well, he
yo.
was there by himself.
No, I'm saying for the scene.
No, according
Yeah,
to
to the
before
scene.
the agreement
It was
was
just-
just scene, he wasn't
was-
even supposed to shoot the gun.
No.
Oh.
So they were wondering why he had the gun in the first place because that scene he wasn't even supposed to have a gun.
Yeah.
In the script.
Yep. That's why I'm like, this is the team. This is the people who is supposed to go through up until the gun gets to the
So
actor.
nowhere in the script where he was supposed to have a gun.
Not in that
scene that they
Oh,
did.
that
So
scene.
When the first
But the-
lawsuit that came out, they said the scene that he was rehearsing in the script, he's not even supposed to have a gun.
Okay.
So now I'm
But
confused.
but like the thing is like just with the team is like also what if there was a scene?
Exactly.
That's
Oh,
what
that prop gun
that's what I'm thinking
had.
about.
This was before like you came into town, but that prop gun had actually gone off
More,
accidentally
3
two
times,
other
right?
times, and then one other gun one other time.
Mm-hmm.
When Alec
same-
Baldwin's
In the
double.
same set. The
Set.
same
Because I've been
same
hearing
production.
about this in the news. Like I know we talked about it before.
Like a couple of weeks before, Alec Baldwin's stunt double had the gun go off on its own twice.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Hell no.
Like separate.
yeah, that's why I would have
times.
hit the fuck off.
So you would have
Two
thought
times
that
I would
they
have
would
been like,
have
"Man,
had.
that's me taking that? Fuck no.
You would have thought that they would have had more safety measures because
There
of this,
was
and
no
that's the
safety.
thing. Baldwin didn't even know about this shit.
That's the crazy
Like,
part.
That's why I'm like, why? Like Baldwin.
Everybody trying to
There's
go
a
about
little,
because he got money.
there's a little bit of blame on him. Whatever money or whatever you put into it, I get it. Having the producer say, I get it. But like, he is still an actor. He is the actor first, clearly, because that's what he was there for. He wasn't there every day on set. He was there for the days that he was shooting. He is an actor. Treat him like a fucking actor. Stop making him responsible for things that are not his job.
Word. I hear that.
Okay, now I'm here with you, but how? Okay, if that wasn't the scene, why was he getting the gun and give it to? That's where I'm at.
80.
I'm like, why?
Because it was sitting
why
on
the
a
fuck
table.
did
That's
he
a
give him
little
the
shady.
gun?
Yep.
It was sitting on a table, and it had been sitting on a table throughout lunch. It was not put away with the other guns.
Bro.
Yo, this
Yup.
team is
Yup.
It smells like
Yup.
a setup. Shoot.
Yep, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, I'm fighting for Allie because I'm like, yo, everybody's
actor.
coming for you.
So whoever's
and it's like,
No,
no.
that's
Yeah,
not his job.
yeah.
That's not
it's
his
like
job
who's
for
ever
sure.
doing that lawsuit against him, like that late, what's his name, Amy or whatever. Like, yo, like, do you realize you're really trying to capitalize on, like, somebody died that day.
Yeah, and he was
Like
not
you-
expecting
and
for
nobody-
nobody.
yeah,
He's
look-
hurting too.
Like, he's mentally going through it right now. And you want to, and like, the thing about it is, it's like, you're like, oh, he was doing this, that, and the third. Yeah, yo, somebody legit lost their life.
Good.
Lost
And
their
you
family.
just-
Lost their mother.
And like you want, and you just like, yo, I'm getting money off him because he killed somebody. He did, like, do you realize how low you have to be?
Then again,
But at the
before
same
I
time-
was gonna say at the same
Okay.
time before we overall jumped the gun. No, for sure though. I know I do hear what you're saying, but I do feel like there is somewhat of a right to be able to at least sue in the sense of like I'm traumatized, like you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
And they
yeah.
shouldn't have,
Absolutely.
and this could have been prevented had y'all did y'all job. You know what I'm saying. So,
I think
but
Yeah, I deserve more
also.
money
But like I
because
said, but
of
also
the
we've come to the consensus that in the way they presented it, you may not get through to this one because the wording and the way what you said is not entirely true.
Yeah, I feel like
So
I feel like you just reaching pockets in the wrong
Yeah.
person.
Well, you
I
can
feel what
get
you're
it.
saying.
That's
though. I feel what you're saying.
the
You can get it from the rest of the team because yes.
Yeah,
the
then
rest of
the
the
80
team
and the rest of them,
are
yeah, get
liable.
your money.
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
And they got absolutely, but you're coming after Alec Baldwin for the wrong reason. Come after him as a producer, not as an actor. That's all I'm saying.
Fair.
For sure.
Fair.
I'm here.
Bet. Good talk.
Woo.
All right.
Next subject.
That's me, right?
Mhm.
Okay. I was so involved in that last conversation,
real-
I
it's-
forgot who read
It's a
it.
crazy story.
Black Swan. All right. Black Swan's Fat Two has been accused of bullying fellow member Leia. Oh yeah. On the 12th of November, a Brazilian fan base account for Black Swan's Leia uploaded private messages with one of Leia's alleged relatives. In the Portuguese messages, there were claims that Leia was bullied by Fatu. What is it again?
That's it.
Fatu. Okay, Fatu. And has been since the start of October with intimidation, oppressing, and provocation.
Provocation.
Provocation. But that it has gotten worse recently. They claim that Fatu is the reason why Leia has been so quiet on live streams and not so active on social media. They claim Leia tried to talk with the managers and president of Black Swan's agency, Dr. Music.
Not even laugh.
That's
Right.
creepy.
It does sound very creepy. But
Okay.
nothing was done about the situation. Many fans were hesitant to believe this as the messages could have been sent by anyone claiming to be her relative and that the Portuguese grammar wasn't that of a native speaker. However, also, they can be edited.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
also. However, people started to think it was true when Leia liked a post with the caption, "Fuck, she is Brazilian. Of course of course, if any shit happened to her, family would expose it. They really should know the agency's history. It wasn't long before fans started asking for an explanation from Dr. Music, Leia, and Fatu. On November 14th, 2 days later, Fatu responded to the accusations in a now deleted message on Twitter saying she has been tolerating Leia's manipulative and disrespectful behavior until Leia disrespected her family when the group was in Belgium.
Ooh.
In the multi-part long message, she wrote of different instances of Leia's selfishness, saying the biggest problem is she always, every single second of the day, thinks only about herself. This is a group. She's not a solo artist. I appreciate that. Without any consideration about the people around her, she does whatever she wants without ever thinking about other people. Everyone has to run around her. Everyone has to match to her beat. Everyone has to only think about her. Why? Because in her mind, she should always be the main focus in everything. You say something she does not agree with, she makes up a whole story surrounding that topic and makes you out to be the bad guy, and she always is, in every single story, the victim.
Oof.
She talks about Leia's gaslighting, saying she manipulates and gaslights everyone, to the point that I'm amazed at how someone like her actually exists. Heavy.
This your bandmate?
One thing she also likes to do is deny that certain words came out of her mouth. While there are literally 4 to 5 people in the room that clearly heard her say those words, she would boldface just deny that those words ever came out of her mouth. This drives a person crazy. When we ask her if she ever thinks about the group, she says no.
So the girl who's being accused is who now?
Fato's being accused of bullying Leia.
The Leia is the one that plays the victim and gaslights everybody and stuff like that, right?
So who's Fato and who's Leia?
Fato is the black girl.
Okay.
And Leia is the Brazilian of the BLACKSWAN.
And so they're saying that Fato, the general is saying that Fato is bullying Leia, but what's really going down is that
something came out saying that she does that.
Yeah, there was like a message from a quote suspected member of Leia's family of
Leia's gotcha.
Yeah.
Leia's family. Because I kept getting too confused on what's happening between the two.
Yeah.
Right.
So gotcha. So currently Leia's really the issue whole time, but Fato is basically getting like some kind of weird backlash, whatever.
Yes, because the person who's accused of being a bully always gets attacked first before the information comes out.
Right. Interesting. All right. All right. Let's keep it moving. Fato describes several situations where Leia went out of her way to make Fato seem like she was personally against her. She brings up a time when their fan manager told them to take pictures individually because she needed individual pictures to post on the group's Instagram. So while Fato was doing so, Leia jumped in to try to take pictures together, but Fato told her she needed to take pics alone this time like every other member was doing, and she did too at one point. But because she was told no, Leia brought it up during a meeting they had with their director and changed into Fato not liking her. And that's why she didn't want to take pictures with her. Interesting. She then talks about the events that happened in Belgium. She wrote, when we went to Belgium to meet our Belgian Lumina fandom name, and for me to meet my family finally after 2 years.
Aww.
The fact that I finally got to see my family again did not sit right with her. She said, why can Fato see her family while she can't? Instead of being happy for me like the rest of the members, she was being bratty about it. I get it, you miss your family, I understand, but to then start saying, I didn't even want to come to Belgium, it's tiring. Why can Fato see her family when I can't? That's ridiculous. She then enters my house back in Belgium and disrespects my whole family. That's when I completely turned against her.
Because we on this whole fight. What? We fighting in the family home.
We might keep it 50. No, stop.
I'll keep it.
Sure. You can act that way towards me, fine, whatever, but touch my family and I'll become a whole different person towards you.
Did you say touch?
Since that trip,
did she really touch?
I don't think so.
I hope not.
Okay,
Since that trip, I started to distance myself from her. To the point I completely stopped interacting with her. Because I'm not about to be all buddy-buddy with someone who disrespects my family and me. But even that, I guess, she turns into me hating on her for no reason and bullying her for no reason. That's why on the 25th of October, I completely exploded towards her. She kept denying everything over and over again, changing her words over and over again. I said a lot of harsh things, which I regret, doing so because I never should have stooped as low as her. Mm-hmm. She never thinks about the stuff she did wrong. In her mind, she could do disgusting stuff to other people, but when you do the same thing to her, it becomes a problem.
You can dish it out, but you can't take it.
And I continue. She describes hearing Leia in the dorm calling her friend and telling them she's going to ruin the group when she's out, and things like, I don't want to be here, I don't want to be on this group. And Fatou believes people are going to take her side anyway because she's Brazilian. Leia did, however, put up a message on Twitter in Portuguese saying, hello humans, while I'm in the company, I can't compromise anyone. I would like to talk about everything that happened, and I don't agree with the racism that is going on out there. Disappointed. That happened after online discussions of the events quickly became Fatou getting attacked with racial comments and slurs online.
I'm gonna look up this group.
That sounds like gaslighting.
It sounds like gaslighting.
It was the group where we listened to the one song. They were in like the nude onesies.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
And they disbanded like a week later. They used to be in a group called like Reina, and then they disbanded, and then they came back as BLACKSWAN, and then they now like they're being whatever. And then Axel Bobby here says, this is too sad. I was rooting for the group as a multicultural. In the end, the two non-Asian girls fought. Korean racist people will find a reason to hate foreigner artists.
Wow. Dang. That's sucks, man. But
do you remember which song that was? Just so I can get like a... If you don't, that's okay. I'll look it up myself.
See,
I think it was before. I think it was when we were still going to Joe's.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, it sounds like Fatou like explained the whole story from front to back.
Oh yeah, that was only clippets. It was a long.
I bet it was.
She put up.
And like Leia, she only said one thing, and then like people just went straight to Fatou for bullying. That's the crazy part. Yeah. It's like, and that's the dangers of the internet.
Yeah.
Tonight, that was the thing.
That's the crazy thing about the internet.
It's called Tonight.
Mm-hmm. And he said, racial slurs and all that. That is not the way to do it. Ken, come here. It's like, that's not the way to do it. Like, learn your facts before you go crazy, honestly. Like, how can you, bro? People, wow.
I mean, but that's what they do.
I know, and that's
like
the sad. That's what I'm saying.
Do.
Like, because what was the first part? They said like it was a screenshot of a private conversation. Okay, one, you going into their personal business. Let's go there. Like you. So how you getting that personal information? That's number one.
Is it real?
Is it real? Because is it real? It could be, as like Shay said, it could be a screenshot for all we know.
Right, and if it is, then y'all can edit those real easy.
Yeah,
like
making a fake Instagram DM, easy. There's apps for that.
Really?
Like that's like there's apps for that.
But it didn't help at anything that was basically not racist remarks, but anything that was like in favor of Leia and against Fatou, she would like on her personal account.
Exactly.
Right.
So and Fatou just went on the Twitter and explained everything, and she's still getting attacked.
Especially racial.
And once the racial came out, her fans was like, nah, y'all, that's what we not about to do.
That's what we not about to do. You know, and like, why you upset? And why you upset that she get to go see her family after 2 years?
That's weird.
Yeah,
that is so weird.
She invited. She heard you say that and still invited you to the family home, and you still disrespect the family. Oh nah.
That is not gonna fly. See, that's how I know.
I believe you to that.
That shit would not fly here. Oh my god.
You disrespect my family.
You get kicked the fuck out. Beat the fuck up.
You gonna be stranded. You gonna be stranded. Have fun. Good luck.
What I find really odd is like the fact that we're supposed to be making money and making moves together and really close to each other, and whole time you feel like it's anything but positive for me to see my loved ones. That doesn't make sense to me.
It's like you saying like it's an inconvenience for you.
Right, like, take the money out of it, bro.
Do we not go through this together? Like, do we not practice and like train together? Like, do you not want to see your family? The fuck, like.
Right. It's
like let's just say what it is. You went to Korea. You knew what it was. That ain't Brazil.
Right.
That's what I'm like. What? I'm confused.
And you can see your fam.
There are people who have family in Korea who haven't seen their family in years that are idols.
Yeah. Literally BTS.
And you said, right. Like, they were just like, oh, I haven't seen my mom in 5 years.
Yeah.
go see your mom, or like, yeah, let's all, I come meet my family.
Don't you think if you had the opportunity to see your family, you would in a heartbeat? So why the fuck are you mad at her for doing it?
I think this might not be the life for you, boo.
Yeah, I think you need to reevaluate your career choice.
Your life.
Yeah.
Your choices, your thoughts and everything, because...
Yeah, you need to...
And it wasn't the only issues that Leia had. I didn't add it in here, but I did see that some of the fans found it iffy, like saying that she has a problem with personal space. There was a live that they did to where she would like cup the other members' like breasts, and without asking, she'd like hug up behind them and like grab their breasts and stuff, and they were like, they looked really uncomfortable about it, and she's like just like laughing and just like, for lack of a better word, just like molesting them.
Interesting.
And like you're saying, I don't agree with the racism that's going on out there. She said nothing about
what the other stuff.
About what you think what was racist. Like
No. This is her coming to Fato's defense.
Yeah, that's her saying like no,
because they weren't talking about the issue anymore. They were just attacking Fatou with racial for being black.
Oh, I thought that was she put that in that.
No, she was telling her fans not to.
Yeah, she was telling her fans.
I was about to say, dude, what?
Right, and I like that whole while I'm in the company.
Yes.
I can't compromise anyone. So it basically makes it seem like because I'm still a part of this group, I'm not gonna talk shit or speak on anybody, and you are not gonna come with that racist bullshit. Yeah. So I'm disappointed, and just kind of left it at that.
Yeah. Which I do give her some kudos for that.
Fair.
Because I know that. Well, not I know, but like I've seen, when people are fed up, they'll kind of just like lash out and not think about the career or how it can affect the other person involved and stuff like that. So I do respect that part, but I know it is because of her and it's not because of anybody else. I know she's, kissing her own ass and like making sure, saving her own ass kind of thing, but I do appreciate that, because that's a human thing. Like, I know that, we're not okay, but you're not going to come for her about her race. Like, we're not going to do that. But yeah.
So, Axel Bobby put up a link and said that there was a live that they did 11 hours ago.
Wow.
And someone in the comments of that said, as awkward as this live was, the fact that the girls are still together shows they want to work together despite problems they might be having. Let's respect that. So stop spending hate and support them so their next comeback can be even better. And then Axel Bobby explains, they basically said that they decided to apologize on live because they wanted to express their feelings to us like in person. Younghyun said that since they were so stressed because of promotions, they were very sensitive. They said that they talked for almost a whole day to solve their problems. Leia said that all the things that Fatou exposed on the letter were real. Ooh. She said that she told her family about her fight with Fatou, and because of the culture difference, they misunderstood.
Okay.
And Leia apologized. She apologized to the girls and mentioned that when they finish promoting, she will come back to Brazil to take care of her mental health. Fatou said that it's okay now, but she got really sad about the racist things that people were saying to her. And in the long messages, Fatou brought up that too, that Leia would blame like different health things that she had going on within her on Fatou. And Fatou was like, she had these mental issues before we became a group, and now she's telling everybody, oh, she has waist discs because of me from stress, or she has this mental issue that she has to take these pills for because of me, even though she took these pills before she even met me. Wow. So now Leia said that when they're done promoting, she's going to go to Brazil for a mental health break, and she apologized. So
I can respect
updated live right here on the current.
Right.
Keeping it current.
Right. Who can be a person who can be accountable for their actions and seek help to better themselves.
That part.
Yeah.
I can respect that.
So Bobby.
Yes, thank you, Axel Bobby.
Yes, thank you so much, for the exclusive.
Right? Come on.
Scoop.
Right, out here. Shoot, much appreciated.
Here, on the current.
All right, well, let's get to the next story.
Me. Save the children. Let's get into it. Is it Alan? Alan Walker, and a they/them pronoun using assistant professor at Virginia University has been placed on administrative leave for saying saying it isn't necessarily immoral for adults to be sexually attracted to.
Yep, we got it. Yep.
The word she's looking for is children.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is scary.
Prepare my mind, body, heart. All right. They made the controversial comment while discussing minor attracted persons and pedophiles during a November 8th interview with the Protestant Foundation.
Prostasia.
You made that whole word.
Made that whole word up.
Wanted it to be in this
Right. Prostasia Foundation, a San Francisco-based child protection organization. No.
Yeah, while doing an interview with a child protection organization, you say in your interview that it is not necessarily immoral for an adult to be sexually attracted to a child.
And these are people that's supposed to be
protecting children.
Oh.
I don't think my mind, heart, body is here.
No.
Okay. That's why I can't even read correctly, Lord. Okay, they were there discussing their book, A Long Dark Shadow, Minor Attracted People in Their Pursuit of Dignity. When they insisted it's important to use that terminology instead of pedophile because it's less stigmatizing.
But we want y'all to be stigmatized.
Yeah, it is what it is.
We want y'all to be stigmatized.
You're a pedophile!
You're literally attracted to children.
You want us to change the term pedophile into the definition of pedophile.
Like, why?
Right. How does that work?
It's like, don't say pedophile, just say what a pedophile is.
Right.
That's more respectable. What? Bruh.
So it's like, don't call me pedophile.
Stop using that one word.
Call me nasty motherfucker that gets hard from children.
Exactly.
Alright.
Sick master.
Shit. Okay. Last week, when Walker was placed on administrative leave, the school released a statement saying reactions to Dr. Walker's research and book have led to concerns for their safety and that of the campus. Furthermore, the controversy over Dr. Walker's research has disrupted the campus and community environment and is interfering with the institution's mission of teaching and learning.
Pause. So I got 2 friends at OD right now, and
that's our hometown.
They probably heard about this, but I'm sorry. Go back up. They said they put him on administrative leave. Mm-hmm. If y'all don't fire this man, go on.
I feel you. They can't fire him for his stance, though. You know what I'm saying? It's not illegal to have a stance.
Unless you're actually acting on it, they can't.
Right.
Since he hasn't committed a crime.
Yeah. He's still allowed to be around children.
Yeah, he's gotta go.
Welcome
to the justice system.
I know.
Shit. Okay. Walker had acknowledged that the use of the term minor attracted persons or MAPS, MAPS, suggests to some that it's okay to be attracted to children, but said labeling anyone wholly by their sexual desires doesn't indicate anything about their morality. Walker maintained that child sexual abuse is an inexcusable crime, but having sexual urges towards children isn't necessarily wrong as long as those carnal desires aren't acted upon. Alright, sounds a lot like what LGBTQ people people condemn leaders in the church for saying when they tell them you can be gay, but you can never act on those desires. Not comparing them being gay to being a pedophile in any way, but the path of acceptance that gay people had to fight for.
Oh, no. I put that in. That last sentence I put out, because like basically what he's saying is exactly what like when gay people, when the preachers would be like, you can be gay, just when you act on those urges is when you become evil and of Satan and of the devil, and then so that's what this is my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. This is what gay people had to settle for on their road to acceptance.
Right.
He's trying to go down that same path for pedophiles.
It's not the same.
No, it's not.
It's not the same. But he's trying to make it the same. That's what I'm saying. It's a disrespect to everything that gay people had to fight for to get what little they have now, to then try to go down the same path with this bullshit.
Axel Bobby says they seem like they're trying to go in the gay community way. They're forgetting that as gays, we don't force anyone. It's all about consent, and a child cannot give consent.
Yeah.
But also, I remember this like clicked in my head because what I was trying to say earlier, I remember them trying to say, well, maybe not the word pedophilia, but that being a sexual orientation. That's why they were trying.
They were trying to be excusable.
LGBTQIAP or something like that. They're trying to toss it in there. Yeah, they trying to toss it in there.
Gay people were like, no.
And they were not
They
having that.
they were not down.
I was even on TikTok and they even made a flag.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They did a flag.
And like, there's like
down.
one of my friends that I follow on
Did it have a
TikTok.
child on it? That's what I was
no.
gonna
It was like one
ask.
of those little color flags and everything.
I was gonna be like, did it have like a Teletubby?
It was like,
I
I can't remember. I cannot remember the colors. I don't want to misinterpret the colors because I can say one color of a flag and then probably be something else. So I'm gonna get in trouble. But like, they had a flag, and one of my friends who I follow on TikTok, who is part of the LGBT community, they said, "Yo, I'm going to Pride, and if I see you with this flag, which is their flag, they said no. They said, please be prepared for what's gonna happen to you."
Yeah, because
everybody knows like, this ain't
look like now.
Yeah, like this ain't a joke. They ain't trying to be funny. This is your own. Like I'm telling you right now. This is not part of the community. This is nothing we represent. This is nothing we stand for. If you come out, if you are at Pride, you come out with this flag anywhere on you, on site.
They're just like, okay, it's like it's bad enough we had to fight so hard to not have people like relate homosexuality to being a deviant and a sexual predator and stuff, and then here you come, a deviant and sexual predator, trying to slide in through what we've already made a path for.
Like the things that they had to go through from like the past to Stonewall to now. It's like like Marsha P. Johnson, all of them, and you want to try and add your sadistic thinking into something that has a legacy now. And you want to just jump in like that, and like no, they're not gonna allow. They're not down for that. Absolutely not.
If you think you're safe, because you're not in jail, and the prisoners can't get you, because you know what happens to predators in jail, right? And
they kill your ass.
But you know what? You just gave an outing to any person who feels the inner vigilante in them. And you gave them the okay to fuck your shit up if they see that fucking flag.
I live in Virginia, so if I see you, it's a wrap.
I'm just saying.
And if you think that you're not a piece of shit just because you haven't touched a child, the fact that in your mind you can look at a child, a defenseless, undeveloped, the brain not developed, still learning, defenseless child, and even imagine conducting a sexual act with this being that is not fully developed body-wise, mentally, emotionally, at all.
Don't even know what the fuck
So you can have emotional, mental dominance over this person, and you don't think that you're a piece of shit just because you haven't touched them. We got problems.
You need a therapy.
You need super.
Like, don't give me that. I haven't touched a child, so it's not like. I would never touch a child. That's just like saying I didn't fuck her, but in my mind I did. Mentally cheating is also cheating.
Yep.
Because that means mentally and emotionally you are detaching yourself from the person that you're supposed to be committed to. So you can emotionally and mentally imagine yourself fucking a child. We got problems.
So because that's not a crime yet, it don't mean it's not a fucking crime. That's all I gotta say.
I'm just really
premeditated.
That's
premeditated. Thinking about it.
Like, dude,
like call me the thought police. Your thoughts nasty.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild that you like really just want people to call you the definition of a pedophile, but not call you a pedophile.
Yeah.
What sense does that
make? But also, how long before you actually act on those desires?
And who knows if you actually did?
That's my thing. How long before you actually act on those desires?
My man, check this man.
That's the only thing that's keeping you from out of prison is the fact that you just haven't acted on it yet. You gonna slip up. You gonna slip up, because every pedophile that has ever had an interview or talked about, they all talked about how hard it is to not slip up.
Like, there's a reason why they gotta go to shit like AA and they gotta go to rehab for it, because it is a mental affliction, addiction. Mm-hmm. There's something wrong with them.
Yeah. So when you get on the black market or whatever, you can find the child pornography. When that becomes not enough, what's gonna happen next? You're gonna find a fucking victim to do that shit to,
because they ain't gonna be like, let's play. No,
that's no,
they're not gonna be okay with that.
Yep, that type of high doesn't last with the same type of high. That's how addictions are.
It's comparable to serial killing.
Yeah, that's yes. You have to find that high, and if the child pornography, or if just being within long distance of a child, if that doesn't fix you no more, if that's not enough for you, you're gonna find a way to get it somewhere else, and eventually it's gonna be an actual child. So it's you either gotta really seek your help and stay the fuck away from children. The best thing for you to do is get put on the sex offenders list and just stay away from children altogether. That's the best thing for you. But y'all trying to make this a whole sexual orientation. I don't know. Y'all
gonna get beat the fuck out.
I do not. I am sorry for if I offend anybody, but honestly, me personally, I do not. I do not fuck with this shit at all.
No.
You know what? Yeah.
No, it's
honestly,
I will gladly say this on camera, because now I'm actually healing and actually feel better from this. I was sexually assaulted as a child. I was, from my neighbor across the street back when I was a kid. That shit was not fun. I didn't know what to do at the moment. When I was younger, I felt like it was my fault. But it wasn't. Shit like this, people like that, have no place around me. It triggers me.
There's no place in the world.
I don't. I understand I full-heartedly understand the anger and the hatred people have for pedophiles, but mine is different. I'm normally I wish you the best at anything. People do me wrong, I'm keep doing you. I wish you the best. Just keep that energy away from me, all that stuff. But people like that, me personally, I want you to burn to hell, and I will gladly pay for the gasoline. I am so serious.
Yeah.
This is something I don't tolerate. This is something I do not respect whatsoever.
And it's inexcusable. Absolutely.
That's why I feel this way. If I live in Virginia Beach area where ODU is, and I'm normally out there chilling and everything. I'm not gonna go looking for the man, but I promise you, if I see him,
I got a fan about that. Go playing with me.
Physical altercation. That's I promise you, it's me saying this is honestly hard. It is, but I'm healing from it. It's just the fact that people like that, I have no respect for. Anybody going through sex, who going through all that stuff, people who have been through that stuff. Honestly, and you are still here, you are still standing. I am proud of you. Honestly, I am sorry for going off topic to a certain way, but for real,
this is still on topic. This is what
honestly, people who stood up and made it through that shit, that traumatizing thing that I've been dealing with for the past 30 fucking years of my life, even though I've been alive for 30 years, even though I would say for the past 24, 25, 26, around that area, I remember I was still in grade school when this shit happened. I was still in grade school. I still came home and just watched fucking Fox Kids because I didn't have cable. You know what I mean? I was just a kid and all of that stuff. I didn't know. And having your first action, having that first sexual action towards you, but somebody older and unwanted, it's traumatizing.
Yeah,
that's different.
Yeah.
you feel some type of way, and then you feel I understand the feel for those, like someone who's probably gone through worse than I have, but like the thing is, like I know how I feel about this situation, but this isn't about that. I know it's not about that. It's not. I'm sorry, but understand, like just personally in the shell, I would say people like this, I don't.
You don't need to cut this shit before it gets to be too much.
Honestly, because I don't want it to be anywhere around me or anywhere around.
But as what Bobby says, I'm sorry for you Friday. Thank God I was a disrespectful kid when I was sexually assaulted by a 60-year-old man. I just made a big scene out of it and thankfully was able to flee. I don't know how I made it out of it.
You know what? Wait, how old are you?
Axel Bobby, how old are you?
Thank you, Axel Bobby. I'm good. I'm good. You know, like I would say, like just talking about it, that's progress.
25 right now.
I mean,
25 right now.
Yeah, 25. Okay. So like you're like 5 years.
That's impressive.
So like you making it this far, like I said, Axel Bobby, I'm proud of you. I am proud of you. You are still standing. You are still doing your thing. You know, like and all of that stuff. So like I'm here for you.
They said that they were like 9 or 10 when it happened.
I was around like that age, a little bit younger.
I say that's impressive because growing up, I too, went through the things that I went through, but I handled it differently. For me, it was I pretended it didn't happen in order to cope because I already knew that I had nobody around me to go to because I was hated. Like as a kid, like my family was not supportive in anything that I did, and the only time I got affection from my family was when I made them look good. So that's why I became an overachiever growing up. But for me, I say that's impressive. I am very impressed by you, Axel Bobby, because growing up, you're told not to say anything. You're told not to make big deal out of anything. Because for me, how I grew up was I wasn't allowed to feel emotions. So if I was too happy, there was always a rebuttal. Like, don't get too happy because shit don't last. If I'm sad, I'll give you something to be sad about. I'll give you something to cry about. Oh, be angry. What are you going to do about it, though? Like, every single emotion that I felt, it was like, you got to snap out of that shit because it don't mean nothing. You got to fix it. So for me, when it happened to me, it was like, oh, well, it don't matter anyways. Throw in the back. You don't really know what it is. You don't really know what happened. So the fact that you reacted the way that you reacted, I'm extremely proud of you because that shit don't happen a lot. You're going to hear about a lot of people our age now that are just now coming out and talking about it because that was not a popular thing.
And even older, like my elder relative and my grandmother's generation, she just recently revealed to me that she was molested when she was a child, and the only person that she could talk to were the other cousins in the family that had also been molested by the same person.
Wow.
Yeah.
And none of the parents were doing anything to stop it.
That's what happened to one of my friend's dad. Like, she was like, so when was you gonna tell us, like, your children that you were going through this and this is the way you act and you do all these things? That they was like, now it makes sense why you act this way, because she was like, I can't stand my daddy. Like, she was like, I can't stand my dad because he was like a womanizer. But at the same time, now she's finding out, like, her dad and her uncles were molested by their uncle.
See? Yep. That's how my mom knew about me, because she was like, because she was, she was touched by, I think, one of my abuela's boyfriends at the time or whatever. Her and my titi, they were both touched by him. And my mom didn't, like, she questioned me because she's been going to therapy, so she's been helping herself heal. So last year or earlier this year, no, last year, when I was still working, yeah, it was last year, because it was when my brother got arrested and shit. We were talking about him or whatever, and we were talking about stuff, and I talked to my mom about guy stuff or whatever, and every time I talk to her about things, because she wants to know what's going on or whatever, she's like, something happened to you? I was like, what? Like, something happened to you when you were a kid? Like, I feel like something happened to you. Like, I feel like you didn't tell us certain things about something. And I'm like, I need you to be more specific. Like, this is way too vague. And she was like, did you get touched? Did somebody touch you as a kid? Because the way you've been acting since, we've gotten closer and stuff like that, I've noticed things about you that are very similar to things about me. And I opened up and I was like, I mean, it's not a big deal anymore. And it hurt her because knowing like I should have known, that kind of feeling like a mother, like I should have known, I should have been there, because I knew what that was like. I knew what that felt like. So that was kind of weirdly to say, it was a bonding moment for me and my mother, even though like it doesn't really hurt me anymore because the person is fucking dead to me. And it was by a family member, so I could care less if he croaks or not. But he, it hurts because it's my dad's brother. But for my mom, that pissed her off because we lived with. We lived from like, it was a double decker that we lived in Boston, from like, I don't know, till I was about 9 or 10, and then we all lived in literally the same house from 10 to like 19. So I had to pretend like nothing was happening, in order for it to be like okay, because that would have. My thing is, I take on the world, so for me it was like, one, what's the point? That's gonna make everybody hate you even more than they already do, and at least this way, it's like you can get away with it, like you can be fine, nobody's gonna do the extra stuff to you, whatever. And then it was like, but if my family breaks apart, that's on me. That's all my fault. So it was just, as an 8-year-old to 12-year-old, you don't know what the fuck to do,
People just don't realize, like, when it happens to you at a young age, that shit really, like, that's something that...
it doesn't. You don't know what's happening. I didn't realize what it was until I was 13.
Right.
And that was because of sex ed. And I was like, oh, blah, 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 family members, blah, 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 whatever. Like, oh, like, is this a normal thing that everybody does together? And they were like, no. Like, that is incest. I was like, no.
Empress Erin, hi Empress. She said my encounter was a teen neighbor. Was with a teen neighbor. I was 12. Started out thinking this was my fault. I can't tell which it will hurt my brother. That's his best friend that turned into low self-esteem. So I started dressing provocative, being flirted, but not
that
active.
Happens.
Yeah, but not active until that turned into sex. I'm all good for anyway, so why not? It's been a struggle with my mental for over 20 years. It doesn't end you. It only just gets better.
Have you been going to therapy? Because I'm telling you, girl, that really helps. Granted, I have a different form of therapy.
Sometimes with me, like, I just started going to therapy probably maybe 3 years ago for this.
Oh yeah. Good.
And I mean, honestly, like, I'm still in therapy now. Sometimes, like, and it's like, I know it's gonna take so much therapy just for me to get back to like how it is, because like, honestly, like, sometimes I feel like it's been over 20 years, so sometimes like too late. It's cemented.
No, it's never too late. It's never too late.
See, I understand. I know.
Yeah,
I know, but then it's like, it's still so much healing I gotta do.
Yeah, it's
that's your childhood, bro. That was taken away.
And I feel like, with that situation, it's just like how I feel like when going in relationships, or just like trying to talk to females now, is just like, when I do, it's like I think about that shit. It's like, whoa, what do I do? I don't know what to do in the situation. And that's scary. And it's scary, and it's like, it fucks with your self-esteem to a T.
It definitely does. I feel you on that, because for the longest time, still, there's two guys that I dated or whatever, and I like started opening up to or whatever. After the two had like the same type of, not reaction, but like one just disappeared. I thought it was because of that, like opening up about my whatever. And then the other one, he couldn't handle hearing one of my things, even though he asked, couldn't handle hearing one of my shit, and then like got really upset about it and whatever this, that. But for me, when I looked at it, going into dating, I wasn't planning on telling anybody about anything, because I thought they weren't gonna love me because I'm damaged, because I went through a lot. Like, how can you love somebody who's been used and abused by everybody and blah blah blah, whatever. Like, that's how I felt. So I understand where you're coming from, but you gotta understand the right person is gonna love you because you survived it, because you came out better, because you didn't let it define you, because you got stronger.
And there's some crazy mofo somewhere who's like, but what if it's consensual? I had a friend in college who was 14, 15 years old who got in a sexual relationship with somebody who was an adult willingly. Mm-hmm. And she is fucked up because looking back, she said even though in that time, during that time, I made the decision, I was a child. I wasn't old enough to make those decisions. I wasn't old enough to understand what decision I was making. So people were just like, well, what if the child says yes? A child cannot say yes. They are not mentally or emotionally equipped to say yes.
They don't even know what they're signing up for.
No, they have no idea.
They have no idea what it is. Nobody, like you.
Because having sex literally fucks with the chemicals in your brain.
Right.
Yes.
And if your brain's not developed, you don't know what's happening.
Mm-hmm. And also, there's another thing that people forget, and I've talked about this. We talked about this recently. I brought it up. You become three people when you deal with trauma. You're either the victim, the survivor, or the predator.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when you prey on the weak, well, let's not say weak, the defenseless, when you prey on them, you are creating possible predators.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for future.
That's what they know.
Yeah, like, and the thing is, and it's not because of their choice, it's because they were preyed on. So it fucks with your chemical balance, and it messes with you. And when it's something that, the thing is, kids don't understand, like, they only understand like feeling. They act on shit. That's why kids don't have a filter. And why when they're angry, they're angry. When they're sad, they're sad. When they're happy, they're happy. Like, they don't know the in-betweens. They don't know self-discipline. They don't know any of that. So when after some time you get used to something that creates certain chemical, processes in your body, and you don't, like, you think it feels good, but you don't really know what it is, so you can't determine, like, is this actually good or is this bad? You're looking for that same thing. And that's why a lot of people who have been victims of this, they either turn into drugs, or they become prostitutes, they become those who are very provocative, or they turn out to be people who have a long journey of, like, therapy, and, they do things and they help others, like, or they kill themselves because they can't fucking handle it. Like, you become many different people. You are creating, as a predator, you are creating a possible either somebody that's going to ruin the lives of others, somebody who's going to end their life because you fucked them up, or somebody who's going to spend their whole life dealing with something and possibly helping others. Like you don't know what kind of, you're playing Russian roulette with that. You don't know what the fuck you're doing.
What's interesting is like how, like, I just realized I'm in a wheel but it stopped with me. So my ex, when he was a teenager, he was approached by this adult couple and started doing sexual things with them, both the wife and the husband. And he did that for years. And he, like, openly admitted to me that he understands that fucked him up. And he thought he was healing. But in the relationship with me, near the end of it, we realized he was actually a predator. 80 to 90% of the sex that we had, I didn't want. So it wasn't until, like, me realizing, like, oh, so this is sexual abuse too. Like, sexual manipulation and, like emotional manipulation to get them to do something that you don't want to do. Like saying, fine, I'll just sleep with them just to get them to shut up.
Exactly.
That's sexual abuse.
Yes.
It's like, they say, like, 6 no's, and then, like, the 7 one's a yes, that's still a no.
Right. Right. So, 80 to 90% of the, like, sexual activity I was having, I didn't want. He didn't realize it when he had became a predator until after our relationship ended, and I was like, look, I need to bad news, bro. This is what it is. And then that's when he actually started to, like, heal. But unfortunately, I had to go through that, and to where it's just like I was like just shut down as a human for like 9 months after that. Like no one could hug me, no one could touch me. I didn't want physical contact with anybody,
right?
Like at all.
Yep, it was strict the handshakes. Mine was just my boyfriend was like emotionally abusive, so mine's different, but still it's like no,
it's still a form of abuse.
Handshake, and you're not getting a hug from me.
Yeah.
Like what? No. It was a straight up handshake. Hey, how you doing?
What you're saying, that's why there was a conversation, I posted, I believe, a TED Talk. Or it might have been something, but a certain someone, y'all could probably guess, responded to it and was still saying like, oh, but women still have a choice, blah, 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 whatever, don't blame men for everything. I'm like, if you're manipulating the woman, if you won't shut the fuck up, if you won't leave them alone until you get what the fuck you want, what is a woman gonna do if she cannot fight you? She is gonna give you what you want and hope that she walks away safe. Yeah. Like, that's why I didn't give them, like, this person responded and I was like, I'm not even gonna give you a response because I know this is gonna end up being a really big fucking fight because of the type of person that you are. And what? We found out they were a predator, so.
Yeah, so that's why, like, you know, I know we joke and stuff, but, like, when people are like, I love you, I'm like, you know, it's just like, you know, or whatever, like, I don't say it because he used that to manipulate me, so I don't say it unless I know what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Empress Aaron's was talking about, like, she was like, yeah, that's, we was talking about the 14-year-old, she was like, yeah, that's grooming. And then just
wait, who for what?
When she was talking about her friend that was with the older man, and I'm like, I grew up with that shit. It was like the girls that had men that were out of school, they were like, and they were like more sexually open, more sexually out there, and I'm like, that's cool, but don't you want to still be a kid? Like I've seen it, and then even being. Like my dad was, if you were 17, 18, he would try to holler at you, just living with that and knowing that, and him trying to holler at my sister's friends, and when I get to high school, he trying to holler at my friends and then lie about it. It's like what the fuck am I, so like, how do I feel as your child and I know you're like this, and I see these women that you bring around, they're younger and they keep getting younger until where you married the one that's my age. What the fuck? They keep getting younger than my sister. I have an older sister. And so I'm like looking at this and looking at you, I'm like, bro, like he manipulated my sibling's mom to where she didn't even know what she was talking about and like almost get locked the fuck up. And my mom, she don't even know this, but my mom was like, don't lock her up, because my mom worked, she's a sheriff. She was in the courtroom. She was like, don't lock her up. She don't even know what she's talking about. She'll find out later. And then guess what? She had to find the fuck out later when my dad and her broke up. Sure. But she was 18, 19 when my dad got with her. So he was just telling her all these lies. I'm like, no, that ain't what the fuck was going on. My dad was lying to your ass. So it's like the grooming process of, this is what I want you to be, this is what you need to do, all this stuff. And it's like, now she had to heal from that.
I literally played a girl. Her name is Bobby Joe. I played this girl on this show called Twisted Love. Y'all should check it out. It's like promo.
Shameless promo.
It is on Investigation Discovery.
Love that show.
But so she was groomed. She was groomed by somebody that she thought she could trust because he was the stepfather to her baby daddy. She had a baby at a very, very young age. But she just grew up really fucked up in a really fucked up situation and stuff. So it basically foreshadowed the rest of her life. You know, when you grow up in a fucked up thing, like it's either like you get out of it, you know, and you become better, or like you go down the same type of path. And for her, she went down the same type of path. So she was literally being groomed, and the same shit was happening to her. You think that, you know, this person who is like your best older friend, you know, you think you can trust or whatever, they're really actually grooming you to be like them and to, you know, do the same shit and do some fucked up shit or whatever. But what she found out later on is that he was actually touching her when she was fucked up too. So it's like she's being groomed to not only be a predator, but also get preyed on by him. He took advantage of her. So grooming is a very real thing, and that's why I know I'm not going to accuse because I don't know the information about it, but that's why a lot of people are very scared for Millie Bobby Brown. because of Drake.
Yeah,
they're saying that he's
grooming her. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I heard that.
I just watched a thing about that. It's like this kid, he's a teenager, and he was talking about it.
Yeah.
But that's just most of like that. And that piggybacks all the way back to what we were talking about earlier in the current earlier this month, as far as just like child stars and like really early debuting stars, even in the K-pop world, for example. This was one of the issues. Because if this happens, what can you say? Oh, we can give you the therapy. Oh, we're so sorry. Oh, we should have done better. But the damage is done.
Right.
It just happens to happen.
That
You can't like you know what I'm saying. So putting children in this, throwing children into these industries, into these positions without proper care for the adults already, is not a good look. It's not. It's tough. But please continue.
It's just looking at.
Was that it for this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, just looking at like B2K, and then you see all the different variations of how they came out. Like Omarion, he healed from it.
Yeah.
Razby is fucked up. J Boog, he's healed from it too, but you know
he's isolated.
Yeah,
he like stays to himself.
Yeah, he takes it, and then what you call it now? He fucked up too though.
Yeah,
he fucked up on a different level.
Publicly, he's making it look the worst. To be honest, just like Fizz, right? Wasn't that the one who was effing with Marion's ex or some stuff like that?
Yeah.
Publicly, it's looking the worst.
He's fucked up in a different way.
Right.
For me, he's fucked up in a way where he doesn't know. I feel like he doesn't know where to turn to.
Yeah,
that's why I feel like he went to, because probably him and Omarion weren't really like cool or whatever at the time.
Yeah.
So I mean, with Love and Hip Hop being a thing, if you ended up, just having like, if he went to April and April was willing to hear him out and listen, like it's hard as somebody who is somebody who's been a victim of that, whatever. Like I had my moments where. Like, that's why I fell into the trap of the two guys that were willing to hear my shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because as soon as anybody's willing to hear your story and not see you as the damaged thing that you think you are, immediate attachment. Immediate, because you don't know if you're ever going to find that again.
Right.
So, if that was what that was, I understand why it happened that way. And it's unfortunate that it was Omarion's, baby mama or ex-wife or whatever. Like, it's unfortunate, but I understand how hard that is to not think that you would ever be loved ever again because you're gross.
Gotcha.
Like, you're not worthy of it. So the moment that you get somebody who finds you worthy, it's like, I gotta hold on to you.
Right,
Word.
And then she was there
around
it, like she'd been around them for years too, know exactly what happened. So
exactly.
We don't know.
It's a whole different type of, connection that you don't know if it's possible to ever have with somebody. But Razby, I would say, is the most fucked up. Only because he's doing everything public, absolutely everything public, which I understand because you're fed up. I get that. But my thing is, I've had conversations with Razby, okay? And Razby, he's a little fucked up on his end too, which, one, the industry will do that to you. Obviously, also, being the victim will do that to you. Because he uses his status to try to flirt and manipulate. I wouldn't say manipulate with like ill intentions, but just like, you know who I am. Come on, I can help you, like kind of thing. Because he tried to do that to me.
So now he's the predator.
He's kind of a predatory
at the situation.
But not as bad as it can get though. Like he can get the help, but yes.
But he is the predator that's within the group.
Yes, I would say he's the predator within the group for sure. Omarion's definitely healed from that shit. Bug is just like, I ain't about this life no more. Lil Fizz is like, I'm trying to find who the fuck I can love and what the fuck I can do about this shit so I don't have to deal with this shit. Right. And Razby is like, I'm an explosion! Like, he's just, he's definitely all over the place. I do wish them all healing, though, because 100%. I know, that's fucked up. But, great example, B2K. That shit really fucking happens.
So to wrap it up, and the reason why my face was twisted when I turned around and just started laughing, I thought of this idea of like people going on a murderous rampage for these people and calling it MapQuest.
Oh my god!
Wow. What a shoot!
That should be a movie. There we go.
Like that's why I was like movie ideas. People who go around looking for these minor attracted persons and just like murdering them, and they call it math class.
Yeah. I found a movie that they actually made them do a game and they killed them and then they still showed whatever they blackmailed them into. Yeah, that shit was fire. It's a movie and it was Predators. I gotta look it up, but I forgot the name. But I was watching that shit. I was like, good goddamn.
But we will skip Shark Tank since it's pre-recorded and a lot of people have shared their stories.
Thank you guys for tuning in live.
Thank you guys on live for sharing your stories. Like I said, like I want to let you know, like in this walk of healing, of being a victor, not a victim, a victor of what we're going through. Yeah. That even though we're in the aquarium, we're gonna swim, we're gonna surf this wave, we're gonna ride it out together.
Let's go.
And all of us are here if you need somebody to talk to or anything.
Absolutely.
So please remember that. And if you're watching this, there's always somebody to talk to. Go to a therapist or go to somebody you actually really trust. If you're not ready to talk about it, it's okay. But you gotta heal from this sometime, eventually. So
even if it's one of us,
even if it's one of us, all our social medias and everything's tagged on this video. So please reach out. If you need help, we're gonna help you out the best way we can.
Absolutely.
All right, have a good Thanksgiving. This will be coming out on the 21st. It's pre-recorded. We will not be doing the current
acquired tasting.
We're not doing acquired tasting week. The current I'll be back in time for. But yeah, so we will be back hopefully as long as no crazy stuff happens that delays anything. We will be back next week, next Sunday for the current back live again on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in.
Woohoo!